Denver, Colorado, welcoming Monster Energy AMA Supercross for just the 4th time in the sport's history at Empower Stadium at Mile High. And a very passionate crowd got to see a landmark evening. Jet Lawrence winning the 250 West and his 4th 250 title, both outdoor and Supercross. There is no stopping this young man aboard his Honda. As we welcome you to the SMX Insider, our post-race show from the Denver, Colorado round. And boy, was it eventful. Highlighted by something we still can't believe we witnessed, and that is the reigning champion, the defending champion, Eli Tomac, out injured. Achilles tendon, the issue, and it happened while he was leading. Hi folks, Lee Diffie with the greatest of all time, Ricky Carmichael, and somewhat still in shock because it all looked pretty much laid out. Eli Tomac to cruise around here at his home race and had plenty of points in hand to go on next week to Salt Lake City and be crowned the champion for the 3rd time. It did not happen, and it won't happen. No, what are your thoughts?
I just can't believe, I'm still in shock of what we saw tonight. Never did I think that we would see that happen from Eli Tomac. My heart hurts for him, and I think this is bigger than just the championship this year.
All right, so that's Eli Tomac in 450s. Let's put that to one side for a moment. Let's take you back to the 250s because it's a more positive and a happier story. Let's take you to the highlights. There he is, the teenager, Jet Lawrence. He's been wowing us for several years now here in the United States, and his success just keeps on going. But it was a bit of a shaky start in his heat.
Yep, he got caught up. He didn't get a great start, and then what his brother Hunter said, hey, if you don't get a good start, that's what happens.
So he ended up working his way through the field and transferred to the main by finishing 4th. So no problem, no great stress, but did it well. Didn't get the best start in the main either.
Well, he didn't because he didn't have a good gate pick, and the lines outside of the gate were really in bad condition. So because of that poor qualifying finish, he didn't have a good spot.
And it was Maximus Voland who got the whole shot and took off until Levi Kitchen aboard his Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing bike grabbed the lead.
Fun at the beginning of the race right here, and then Enzo Lopes. Man, I was hoping he would get on the podium. He doesn't, but he gets by Maximus Voland. That really wasn't fully intentional, just a tight track you had to get by him somehow.
And Lopes was in search of an elusive first podium. Meanwhile, Jet Lawrence was checking them off his list one at a time and methodically working his way through the field.
Methodically is great, yes, very reserved at the beginning, kind of let the race come to him, then started picking them off and did a lot of work towards the end of the race.
Right, this was one of the moments of the race. RJ Hampshire, Levi Kitchen. Hampshire later told us he engaged neutral and almost lost the bike.
He hit neutral, so he comes up, gets back on the tracks, looking back to make sure he doesn't come on and collide with anyone.
So it looks like Levi Kitchen's got the win in hand. No, not so fast, because through the whoops, here comes RJ Hampshire on a mission and to the front with authority.
And he looked great aboard that Rockstar Energy Factory Husqvarna Racing all main event long.
So there it is. The win that had eluded Hampshire in 2023 finally came his way in Denver. Levi Kitchen grabbed the runner-up spot, and Jet Lawrence spoilt the Enzo Lopes party of a podium. Jet comes home in 3rd to secure the 250 West Championship to match his 250 East Championship and his 2 Pro Motocross 250 titles. He is bowing in respect to his Honda. He said that bike, so amazing, did such a great job. And the champion is crowned yet again. That #1 plate sits comfortably with him, doesn't it?
2-time regional champion. This guy is an incredible talent.
So, 2nd career win, 1st of this season for RJ Hampshire. So Husqvarna over Yamaha and Lawrence. Enzo Lopes again a 4th, but really good. Oldenburg rode well. Maximus Voland showed promise up front early, but then drifted back a little bit. However, the headline is Jet Lawrence, the factory Honda HRC rider, the man at the front, never finished off the podium once in this 2023 season.
Jet Lawrence wins the Oakland Supercross in the 250 division. He does it in dominating fashion.
And it's Jet Lawrence that reigns supreme in Seattle.
All those mistakes mean nothing now. Jet Lawrence wins the Triple Crown in Glendale. Thank you, Lee. I am with Mike Pelletier, the American Motorcyclists Association, to present the #1 plate to the 2023 West Coast champion. Mike?
Jack, congratulations on a great season. On behalf of the AMA, it gives me great pleasure to present you with the 2023 Monster Energy AMA Supercross 250 West #1 plate. Awesome job.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations, Jetson. You just said it, 4 straight 250 championships. After the race, I see you celebrating, you're talking your bike. What were you saying to the machine and to all the people that support you and help make this happen over the last 4 championships?
I mean, that bike is just treating me so well. The team is unreal. I mean, this team, we could be put out of a tent, to be honest. I wouldn't care. The team is, it's not even a team anymore, it's a family. They've done all of above for me and my brother. And that bike, it's just kind of like I'm bowing down to. The thing was so good to us. It's such a good damn bike it's unbelievable how good these guys set this bike up, and just everyone around. I got my mate Blake from Oz. It's his birthday in Australia right now. It's gonna be his birthday tomorrow, so that's for him. Also for Peyton, that one was for her. It wasn't the best, wasn't a win. I was gonna try and get her a win, but the boys just out. I was like kind of watching halfway through also, but no, it's good. 4-time. It's 250 has treated me very well, so I'm happy to be kind of happy to be offered a bit now and focus on the 450. So yeah.
Congratulations. Go ahead and grab your championship trophy. Your 250 West Supercross champion, Jet Lawrence.
Keep in mind you get 26 points for a win. Look at that. With the season not yet over, Jet Lawrence with a 34-point advantage headed to the East-West showdown in Salt Lake City next week over Hampshire and Enzo Lopes. All right, it's time to go into the Fowler film room earlier in the day on Race Day Live to take a closer look at Jet Lawrence. Jet Lawrence wins A1!
Jet Lawrence wins the Oakland Supercross.
And look at how much that means to the teenager.
We've not seen Jet Lawrence's full potential yet. No question, Jet Lawrence has shown he's an elite level athlete. He's got 3 championships and is a mere 10th place finish from wrapping up his 4th consecutive title. He will join 3 of the sport's all-time greatest athletes with 4 small bike titles: Ricky Carmichael, James Stewart, and Ryan Villopoto. But we've not seen what he's truly capable of. What we've seen so far is him going fast enough to beat his competition. How do I know? Because mistakes in the Triple Crown format at Anaheim 2 forced him to race to his full potential. By looking at the lap times after mistakes at Anaheim 2, we see Jet's incredible raw speed. We get a glimpse into his full potential. The first example is in the first Triple Crown race of the night. RJ Hampshire got the whole shot and led the race wire to wire. But RJ only set the 10th fastest lap of the race. It was Jet Lawrence that set the 8th fastest laps of the entire race. After a crash on lap 4, Jet couldn't simply beat his competition, he had to catch them. And it's while trying to catch his competition we see his full potential. It wasn't just one glimpse into his full potential that night in Anaheim. After a mistake in the second race and a 6th place finish, he had to win the final race of the night to salvage valuable championship points. He came out swinging in the 3rd race. He got the whole shot and led the race wire to wire and took the win to salvage a 3rd place overall. And he once again set the fastest 8 laps. But his speed was even more dominating in this race. All 10 of his laps were in the top 13 fastest laps of the entire race. There was only one other racer that had laps faster than Jet's, Levi Kitchen. Levi set 3 laps ranked 9th, 11th, and 12th that were faster than Jet's slowest lap times of the night. Back against the wall, on a night many consider to be one of his worst races this season, we got a glimpse into Jet's full potential. As Jet wraps up an all-time small bike career that ranks among the sport's greatest legends, we've just barely seen a glimpse of his true potential.
A big thanks to the king of the calculator, Clinton Fowler, there with that insight on Jet. And by winning his 4th championship, he becomes, Ricky, and you had success. You had great success with Honda. Across all brands, you had success. But with Honda, he becomes the most successful Honda small bike rider, both outdoor and in Supercross. Just want to go back to something very quickly that Jet mentioned in his victory speech. This is 11-year-old Peyton Hemley. She suffers brain cancer. And these two met last year in Utah. Peyton's dad got in touch with moto rider Jacob Hayes, who works with Jet's manager, and they got this get together, and that was a lovely moment for the two of them. And Jet said, I wanted to get the win for Peyton. I couldn't quite do it. Of course, you're all aware of Monster Energy Supercross's initiative and campaign, long-standing campaign with Love Moto, Stop Cancer, in conjunction with St. Jude Children's Hospital and the funds that are raised. So that was a really touching and lovely moment with Jet. Let's talk business for a moment. He mentioned, I want to thank my bike, my team, everything. 250s have been great, but it's time to move on. He's got one more 250 race left. That's in Salt Lake City. Then for the Pro Motocross season, he steps up to 450. There might be some people saying, is he ready? I already know what your answer is.
Yeah, he's ready. He's ready to go. He's not going to learn anything else in the 250 class, and he's going to do great. I think he's going to have some growing pains in the 450. Those guys are at the best at what they do, but he's coming in at a good time. There's some banged-up guys, so he won't be in a must situation, and Honda's going to give him a grace period, of course, but the guy is super talented, and he's on the path to breaking a lot of records.
Yeah, so
he'll be ready.
We look forward to everything that's coming. He's given us so much entertainment and a lot more to come. And we've still got a lot more to come here on the post-show as well. Now we join Jason Thomas. JT?
Levi Kitchen, another strong ride tonight. You led several laps, had a great battle with RJ Hampshire there. Walk us through your race a little bit. I'm sure it was a good race, but disappointed a little bit?
Yeah, no, it was good for sure. We were close, so I mean, I guess that's good, and yeah, that's a positive. But yeah, man, it was a long one. It felt really long for me, and yeah, I mean, getting up front early like that was nice, obviously, and I knew RJ was going to be good, so we kind of went back and forth there, and he ended up making a big mistake, and he gave me a pretty good gap, and man, I got to the lappers, and I kind of froze up, and you know. I don't know. I kind of let that one slip away a little bit, but obviously he was riding great, and it's something to build off. And, you know, for me, it's not like I've been up here every weekend, so I can't be too frustrated. I mean, I got to take the positives here and be happy with the second place.
So as we transition into the final Supercross of the year and then Pro Motocross is looming, thoughts about how that's going to go and chances there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking to, you know, have a good last round of Supercross next weekend and see what we can do. But I mean, I'm not too worried about it, to be honest. So I'm doing everything I can be to be ready for Paula, and I believe I have a good chance of running up front in the outdoors. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the great outdoors.
A great job tonight, and good luck next week.
A young man, Levi Kitchen, continues to go from strength to strength. Hey, Saturday is not the only day for Supercross. A reminder, you can join our very own Ricky Carmichael and Ryan Villapoto as they break down the SuperMotocross action each week on Title 24. You can find it on Peacock and the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel and wherever you get your podcasts. In addition to that, James Stewart breaks down the action each week on his Bubba's World podcast. Get the fastest man on the planet's unique take on his YouTube channel. And on Thursday, join Jason Wygant and Daniel Blair and Clinton Fowler as the SMX Insiders take a deep dive into the sport we all love with a breakdown of the races, the news of the day, and Fowler's Facts. You go to supermotocross.com or the SMX Insider Hub on Peacock for the show. Here's Will with her thoughts on the 250 main.
Thanks, Lee. And you could see how happy RJ Hampshire was to get this win. It's been just over a year. It was St. Louis 2022 when he got his first 250 career win, and this one clearly meant a lot to him. And we talked at the top of the broadcast about the fact that this was the best Supercross season that he has had so far in his career and how much he wanted to add a win at the end of that. And now he's got it. That's a great thing. It's wonderful to take into the motocross season. Just generally for RJ, just a really big boost for him. And he was talking about how he feels this year with the team. He said, you know, last year, sometimes he wouldn't really want to show up to the races because he just wasn't in the right frame of mind. He said, happy is how he described himself this year. He said with the team, they're just gelling. There's a fantastic atmosphere, the vibe that he talked about. He's like, I arrive happy, I leave happy. He gets to go home to his wife and his 2 girls, and he gets to take them home a winning trophy this week. And he snuck that in right before the more challenging contest of a showdown next weekend with all the 250 guys on track. So well done to RJ Hampshire. Fantastic box check there before the 2023 season is done.
Yeah, it was good stuff, wasn't it? There was a lot going on in Denver this weekend with the Pulp MX Privateer Challenge put on by Steve Mathis and everyone at Pulp MX. Really great event with a good cause behind it. It was the 2nd year that it happened, and Steve Mathis tells us more about the initiative.
I was a privateer mechanic for many years, right? I helped a few guys out, so I know the struggles, I know what it's like. But I also, the Supercross guys, they do a lot of great things for riders who are in the main events. So those guys are doing all right. How do I help the guys that don't make the mains, that go to all the races? That was the genesis behind it. Yamaha gave me a bike, said do with it whatever you want. We thought about giving it to a privateer, but then ultimately the raffle came to mind. And yeah, the idea is to help the privateers that go to all the races that don't make the main events.
And we take you to highlights of the Pulp MX Privateer Challenge. Lane Shaw got out to a terrific start, and a lot on the line here, Ricky, and this is before the official full weekend got underway.
Yeah, it was crazy, and it was tough conditions as well. There's Freddie Noren. He's going to try to get by Chase Marquier there on the 219. Go to the outside. That makes a pass for the lead.
Watch this.
But
slick move up the inside by Freddie Noren. That's where he grabbed it.
yeah, but shortly after, here he goes. Look, he gets off cue in the rhythm lane, goes over. Josh Cartwright will go into the lead.
And led the majority after Freddie Noren tossed it away. Josh Cartwright, thrilled to get the victory. It meant a lot to these guys with money on the line, and that means a lot as a privateer. That was tough, and it wasn't just a few laps either. Let's hear from the winner.
Oh, it feels amazing. Just for a lot of us privateers, we're paying all of our own stuff, and for Steve and Pulp to put this on, it elevates the industry. I can't thank him enough. I mean, that's 25K in my pocket that I can put towards my truck, my house, my anything, my bikes, my program. That it's amazing, and I got a decent start. I got into the lead and just rode my own race, and I'm so happy. You have no idea.
Congratulations to Josh Cartwright again. Well done to Steve Mathis, all of the crew from Pulp MX for putting that on. Let's talk 450s here tonight. Let's talk specifically 450 main. You and I were saying off air, off camera, what happened to Eli Tomac, as we mentioned at the top of this show, is yet another great reminder of live sport and how it can just change in a moment, in a split second.
Yeah, I think that I can't believe what I saw. The last 2 weeks in general, and then to Eli Tomac. I mean, he's just so buttoned up, a great champion. You just don't think things like that will happen to him, and unfortunately it did. Great for Chase Sexton. Obviously, he doesn't want to win that way, but nevertheless, this is bigger than just the Supercross Championship in my mind. This comes at a bad time in Eli Tomac's career.
All right, let's go. Let's break it down. Here are the highlights of the 450 main from Denver, with the #1 plate holder here at home in Colorado, the 30-year-old Eli Tomac. Good points lead, 18 to be precise. All he had to do was be relatively conservative in Denver and next week in Salt Lake City. He'd be the champ. Ken Roczen dropped it at turn 1 and was last. Remember that for later.
That's right, Shane McElrath. I'm going to tell you what, this HEP Progressive X-Star team had it going on in Twisted Tea as well, but Eli Tomac, perfect spot right here. Takes the lead early, gets by Shane McElrath up the inside. The next lap, McElrath gets passed by Adam Cianciarulo in the same spot. But I'm watching Tomac here. I'm like, oh man, this is absolutely perfect. But take a look at Eli's left foot when he takes off right there. And he comes up short. I believe he ruptured that Achilles when he was taking off, taking flight. Watch, you're gonna see his toe at full flexion. And he lifts his leg up, lands, then he goes to double again, then he looks down at his foot. And that's probably because he couldn't move his toes up. And unfortunate, it happened so fast. Now, Eli rides on the balls of his feet, and that's what you're supposed to do, but there's a risk that
Yeah.
Oh.
Off to the Alpine Stars medical truck.
Oh, man.
Folks, when we were calling this live, we could not believe what we were seeing. And these images, you know, it's been a rough couple of weeks for the sport.
Well, you see Eli Tomac. I mean, he's just, I don't see any emotion right there. Clearly, he's upset, mad, but he looks fired up, or he looks numb.
Yeah. So, back to the racing. And Chase Sexton, who, by the way, was 6th on the opening lap, just kept going through one competitor at a time. Yes, I'll get you, I'll get you, I'll get you. Gets by Adam Cianciarulo and is looking good at the front. Adam Cianciarulo would have some more visitors with his old training partner, Kenny Roczen, who came from where, Ricky?
What? Dead last, laying on the ground in the first corner. Like you said take note. Well, here he is. Great job by Ken Roczen, hanging in deep late in this series.
But the story was all about, as far as the racing was concerned, the factory Honda rider Chase Sexton stamping his authority on the title. Was not crowned the 450 champ in Denver, but he is as good as the champ. So we'll call him the champion-elect, heading to Salt Lake City. Yet another win on the season and erases the memories of all those other missed opportunities earlier in the year. So a Sexton, Roczen, Cianciarulo podium. It had been more than 2 years since AC had stood on a 450 podium.
Yeah, emotions were deep with that guy, and man, it was so great to see. He has had a rough go the last couple of years.
Justin Hill, 450 career best result. His brother Josh was also in the top 10, but your eyes have to go to 22nd. And Eli Tomac. Unbelievable night in Denver. On the flip side of where Tomac is where Chase Sexton is. And here's what he had to say post-race.
Thank you, Lee. That's right. Here now with race winner Chase Sexton. First and foremost, Chase, congratulations on that win. I know there's a lot of mixed emotions up here on the podium right now. You were just watching the footage there of Eli, and I'm sure none of this has really sunk in for you yet. So congratulations on the race. Just talk about that and where you are in your head.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of mixed emotions right now. It's definitely not how you want to see someone go out. Eli's obviously an awesome competitor, and we've had a lot of great battles this year, and he obviously had a good points lead, and I was just trying to do the best I can. And man, it's just a bummer to see him go out like that. He's an awesome rider, and for me, that race was okay. I rode pretty good. I've been just struggling a little bit all day with altitude, and I was actually happy with how I was riding in the middle of that race. So overall, stoked on another win. Yeah, we're feeling good and ready to go into Salt Lake and have some more fun. But awesome to share the podium with Ken and Adam. It's pretty surreal. We've been training a lot together in the past years, and it's super rad.
Fantastic podium. Congratulations to you, Chase. A great achievement.
Remember, Chase Sexton, a two-time 250 East champion. Let's look at the points, because there's another championship coming his way. Tomac is out for the season. Cooper Webb is out for the remainder of the Supercross season. So Ken Roczen is the nearest active rider, 43 points in arrears.
Yep, that ain't happening for Eli Tomac. Chase Sexton, he doesn't have to do anything because Eli Tomac ain't racing next week.
Champion-elect. And let your eyes wander down there and see who is where. Give a shout out to Justin Hill in the top 10 and Dean Wilson as well. Let's check in with JT. Here's Jason Thomas.
Ken Roczen, another great race tonight. That's several podiums, I think 3 in a row for you. Really coming on strong. 4 in a row. Yeah, I'm bad at math. So really coming on strong late in the season. I felt like you had to work for that one a little bit more. Came from the back. Start wasn't so great, but you can speak too, Griff. It's totally fine. We're all family here. But no, it was a great ride. And really, I think this is the best you've been this late in the series. Does that feel that way to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think, and that was my goal. I kind of had to figure out my own, I don't even know, my own plan, own schedule. You know, of course I can always build and can be better, but for me it was important to make it through this and be strong. And that's what we've been, especially at altitude here. You know, this is really noticeable, especially in practice and especially in the heat. I mean, I was gassed in the heat, and I felt super strong in the main. Obviously, I actually had a really good start. I took risks going on the inside, but it had the best rut, and had a really good start, but I got closed off in the front and had to dump her over. But luckily, I kept it running, and second turn, people went down, and I had to stop there again. So I definitely had to work for that one. But I was riding super good, I felt, and it's been a long time since I've ridden like that, so I'll take it. Got all the way up to second, which is awesome, and put the team on the podium again and myself, so I can't ask for much more, honestly.
Well, congrats on a great season. One more left.
Thank you.
Ken Roczen on a roll for sure. 4 podiums in a row, getting towards the end of this Monster Energy AMA Supercross season. Let's check in with Daniel Blair, his thoughts on the evening here in Denver.
Well, guys, this is where it happened. Eli Tomac, you saw the injury, the championship goes away, and it wasn't a crash. It was just in a transition of a rhythm section. You think back to last week, Cooper Webb, just a tip over in a corner that ended his season, and you know, it makes me think of the sport as a whole. You see some guys have these spectacular crashes on highlight reels, and sometimes they pop right up like nothing happened. And then the 2 most recent champions, 2 of the best of this generation era, go out in back-to-back weeks for simple mistakes, a fall in a corner and I guess a misexecution on foot placement in a rhythm section. And I think that just reminds everybody that the sport is brutal. Everybody puts in so much work. The sacrifice with their diet and the training and the time away from home and family, and it's all for the chance to be a champion, but it can be taken away like that, and we've seen that in the history of the sport. And this season's pretty awesome. The highs of Ken Roczen, unbelievable night. The lows of Aaron Plessinger, a win that escaped his hands. The highs of Max Anstey and Hunter Lawrence and over the last couple weeks, and now the lows of Cooper Webb and Eli Tomac. And it just feels very real tonight, and they're champions. I have nothing but respect for Eli Tomac and Cooper Webb. They're inspirations to so many, and to see it go out like that is troubling, but they would tell you to just get back on and give it another shot and get back to work. That's what racers do, and that's what they would tell you. So again, a very emotional season, and it's tough to see it end like that for Eli Tomac, but he's a champ and a legend that everyone respects, and everyone will remember this night and remember him. Regardless of what happens next in his career, everyone will remember Eli Tomac as one of the baddest dudes to ever do this. So shout out to Eli and his family on a very tough night.
And Daniel, it just underscores just how challenging, just how tough, how real this sport is. These guys are so good, they make it look so easy. But when it goes wrong, sometimes in the gnarliest of ways, sometimes in the most subtle of ways, like Eli's, just on a compression, and his Achilles gave way. It's just it's a not so subtle reminder of how real and how tough this sport is. So we look forward to next weekend, to the season finale as far as the Monster Energy AMA Supercross portion of this inaugural SuperMotocross World Championship season is concerned. What are we racing for next weekend? Showdown, final showdown, East-West 250s, final race of the Supercross season in the 450s.
Bragging rights in the showdown for sure. That's going to be a lot of fun watching the 2 brothers as champions go at it, and it's an opportunity for other guys to maybe get their first win. 450s, you're racing for pride. It's another possible win for maybe Eli Tomac, maybe Chase Sexton. Chase Sexton's going to be our champ, most likely. So anyhow, that's what you go to Salt Lake for.
Yeah, and trying to get a win to guarantee you, give yourself a berth in the SuperMotocross playoffs. And how do you watch next weekend? Well, presented by Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game 6. Here is the rundown for you. You're also racing next weekend to harness and harvest some more points to ensure that you're going to be in that top 20 and guarantee yourself a seeded position in the SuperMotocross playoffs at the end of the year, with the Pro Motocross season just a couple of weeks away. What a weekend, what a night, for so many reasons in the Mile High City. Celebrations and despair. It was a night of 2 tales in the 2 classes. And that's what Monster Energy AMA Supercross is all about. What a night. See you next week.